Hello, welcome to today's class where we're going to talk about mollusks, and that includes snails, slugs, even mussels, octopuses. And remember, in our last video, we saw the cuttlefish, and the cuttlefish is also a mollusk. So they are invertebrates. Can you practice your vocabulary out loud? Just say invertebrate. Yeah, invertebrates don't have any bones. So look at this octopus. They're pretty cool. and this is just in the family of mollusks. See how they're so flexible because they don't have any bones. He has a hard beak inside. As long as that beak can fit through a container, he is able to squish that body out. Now the octopus, they have suction cups, and that helps them move around, hold on to things, and look at how talented they can be. They're smart enough to know that they need to unscrew it. So they're problem solvers, and they can do some pretty fascinating things. I just love watching that. Look at how that big body just comes out, just squishes through. So when I was a little girl, we said octopi if we were talking about more than one octopus. But the correct term is octopuses. So if you have more than one, go ahead and say octopuses instead of octopi. Right here, this is the Dumbo octopus. And he's pretty cool looking. See how they're using their suction cups? They're able to walk with those long arms or tentacles and grab onto things, hold on to them. So please say siphon. Yeah, this is where the siphon is. That's where they can take in some water so they can get the oxygen that they need. Also, that's where they squirt their ink. So show me with your fingers, how many arms does an octopus have? Yeah, if you said 8, you are correct. They have 8 arms with 2 rows of suction cups on the underside. Under here is where it has a parrot-like beak, so it can just kind of eat its food. And also say mantle. Yeah, this is the mantle, the top part of their head, and they actually have a toothed tongue, and that just helps them to eat. They also have bilateral symmetry, so they're the same on both sides. If you were to cut one in half, it would be equal on both sides. Now they can lay up to 400,000 eggs at one time. 400,000 eggs at one time. And do you think that the female watches over the eggs? Yeah, she'll actually stop eating. So she won't leave those eggs. She'll keep them super safe. And unfortunately, she dies short after she lays her eggs because she doesn't eat anything during that time. So that entire body is compressible. Can you say compressible? Yeah, which means it can compress, kind of squish, squash, and fit through the tiniest things, just as long as that beak fits through. Now they are cold-blooded. Show me 3 fingers. Yeah, they have 3 hearts. And their blood isn't like our blood. Their blood is blue. So here you can see him kind of going, catching his food and uses those tentacles. The suction cup just grabs onto it, and he is quick. Look how quick he got that. Just suctions it, brings it right into where that beak is. And this is what the underside looks like. This is how they swim. They just kind of spread those arms out and squish, squash up. And thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. Can they go onto land? Yeah, an octopus often will go onto land to kind of go from one tidal pool to another just in search of food. So they can walk on land. But they do better staying in the water. It's just easier for them to get around. Now this is a 7-arm octopus. Do you think he only has 7 arms? I'll tell you what, he has one arm that's pretty short. So he's called a 7-arm octopus, but he actually has 8. One's just pretty small. We're going to talk about the different octopuses that you see here, but they are ranked the most intelligent invertebrate. Because remember, they knew how to unscrew a cap. Nobody ever taught them that. They've been able to do simple puzzles. They can open child-proof bottles. Bottles that are hard for even a kid to open. They know a secret trick on how to do that. They can use tools So they're pretty smart. And scientists even think that they have personalities and they can recognize people. So if you go to an aquarium often, that they might be able to recognize you. So they squirt ink. Here you can see that ink. But what do you think? Does this octopus have to get out of the way? I'll tell you what, sometimes that ink that they spray is toxic to them. It can even kill them. So they got to swim away, but they end up expelling it so it can kind of put like a smoke screen so their predators can't see. It also can confuse their predators, maybe make them a little bit paralyzed or kill them. So it can be toxic and it'll dull their sense of smell and sight. So please say coconut octopus. Yeah, this is known as the coconut octopus or veined octopus. Kind of looks like he has veins right there, so you can call him either one. Now, he's found on the sandy bottoms of basin lagoons. So he loves nice shallow water. It's usually a little bit warmer because the sun warms it up. And he does something kind of cool. He'll kind of bury his body into the ground, and only his eyes will be peeping out. So he's able to use tools. They're often using coconuts and seashells as tools, maybe to help them dig. But they're kind of timid. They like to hide. Can you see him hiding in that shell? And he's able to just kind of close the top and keep him safe. So if that diver gets a little too close and that coconut octopus gets uncomfortable, he just closes up. So he's beautiful with those white suction cups, and he's not all that big, only about 8 centimeters. Including his arms, he's about 6 inches long. So that's not really that big for an octopus. The siphons, where they squirt their ink from, is usually yellow. And please say bipedal. Yeah, and he likes to do a bipedal motion where all the other arms he just kind of tucks away and he'll just kind of swim with two arms. So it's a bipedal motion. Kind of makes him look like a floating coconut sometimes. So please say North Pacific giant. Yeah, this is the North Pacific giant octopus, and he is huge. He can weigh up to 110 pounds. Now, do you think octopuses live a long time? Yes or no? They only live about 3 to 5 years. This is one of the longest living ones. So they have a very short life, 3 to 5 years, but he's the biggest and longest living of all octopuses. Now, those large suckers are about 2.5 inches for each one. So they're a pretty good size. But each sucker can support 35 pounds. So he would only need 2 suckers to pick you up. So looking at this picture, do you think that he could pick up something pretty heavy? Yeah, to pick me up, he'd only need 3 or 4 suckers to pick me up. And I'm a grown up. And they are smart, but is he being smart right now? He's so hungry, he senses that fish that's inside that floaty boat. I don't know if he ended up swallowing the boat. That wouldn't be a good idea, but he just gets that fish, kind of brings it in so he can sense his prey. And please say Pacific red. Yeah, this is the Pacific red octopus. Loves to live in the southern Gulf of California, also the Gulf of Alaska. Look at, he's just kind of walking along some glass right here. He's in an aquarium, so you can kind of see how he uses those suction cups to kind of move that body. And they only breed one time, and then the female dies. So she'll lay eggs one time in her whole life. And this one can be 40 centimeters, weigh about 400 grams at most. And I'll tell you what, watch out for the East Pacific red octopus because he likes to bite. He is a biter. And what do you think? Do you think there's venom? Yeah, there's venom. And so he'll spit venom on the wound, and that wound can take 3 weeks to heal. So it can be a pretty good bite. He's also known as a ruby octopus. And right there, you can kind of see that siphon. Do you see the siphon right there? How he's bringing in the water and expelling it. That's how he breathes. So he doesn't breathe air, but he gets oxygen out of the water. And if he wanted to squirt some ink, that's where it would go through. But that's kind of a neat way to breathe. And right here, that's the North Pacific giant octopus. And if they get scared, look how he's able to blow up his body. He can expand it. He got intimidated by a diver. He didn't like having a scuba diver right there. So he tried to show his massiveness and his strength. So they have that flexible body. They can either squish it or blow it up. They just do what they need to with it. And here, there's that bipedal motion using two of the arms to just kind of run, or sometimes they'll use more than just two. They'll kind of crawl slowly across the ground, but see how fast they can go sometimes. Now, this one, look at this. We're going to see how he camouflages. And it's like he disappears. You can't see him at all. So he can actually change his texture, his shape, and even his color. Did you notice how he changed his color? Now, this is a coral reef marine animal, and I love seeing, he's a good hider, isn't he? Can you comment in the classroom if you thought that was pretty miraculous? That's pretty amazing. So right here, do you see where I'm circling the word crimson? Can you say crimson? Yeah, he can change from the color crimson, which is this color that I typed it in. He can go from crimson to even green. And there you see him changing texture. Now he likes to hunt at night, and his arms are different lengths, and he actually loves warm water. So please say larger Pacific striped. Yeah, this is the larger Pacific striped octopus. Does that look like a normal octopus to you? Well, I'll tell you what, this was first found in 1970, and he's known for his intelligence, and he'll live about 2 years. Um, Now, most octopuses like to be alone, but the larger Pacific striped octopus loves to be in groups. Sometimes they'll be in groups of up to 40 octopuses. So he's really unique on his habits of living with other octopuses. He also is like long and skinny. So when he was first found, people thought it was a joke. They wouldn't believe the people that found him. They're like, "You're joking." And he's like, "I'm telling you the truth." But look at, he's so skinny. And that's cool how he's striped. So please say blue ringed. Yeah, this is the blue ringed octopus. And look how bright those blue rings will get. And I'll tell you what though, watch out for him. He's small, but he is highly venomous. Loves to live in tide pools and coral reefs around the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Now, it's thought that 7 to 11 people in all time have been killed by him, but he has enough venom to kill 26 people at one time within minutes. That's how powerful he is. Now, he loves to eat crabs, small crustaceans, even shrimp, hermit crabs, other small animals. He just likes to eat, but he's only about 5 to 8 inches. But he is among the most poisonous of all marine animals. So the mother, she'll have about 50 eggs at one time, and she'll incubate those eggs, just take care of them for up to 6 months. Half a year she's not eating. Now this is the mimic octopus. Please say mimic. Yeah, the mimic octopus, he is a trickster. This is my favorite octopus. And if you guys could share which is your favorite octopus in the classroom, that'd be nice. Because he has a chameleon, or he's known as the chameleon of the sea. He can just change into whatever he wants to. And he does that to trick his prey. So what he'll do is he'll look like he's friendly. If he wants to eat a crab, he'll look like a crab. So the crab comes closer, thinking it might be a new friend, and then all of a sudden the mimic octopus will take over and eat him. So please say carnivore. Yeah, he's a carnivore. And he can even look like a sea snake sometimes. But see how he's able to change, even change colors? Here he's pretending he's a crab, and here just different things. He'll pretend to be a sea snake or trick fish to come into a hole, and then he just grabs onto them. And please say flapjack. And depending on where you live, a flapjack is, when we talk about food, it's also a pancake, kind of like waffles and pancakes. A flapjack is a pancake, but he's known as the flapjack octopus because he can kind of flatten himself out. Now, he was only found in 2016, um, and he hasn't been known about for more than just a couple years. He's only a little one. He's about 8 inches long. And what do you think? Is he an herbivore? Does he eat plants? No, he's a carnivore. Loves to eat small fish, even sea worms, and lives in the North Pacific Ocean. He can go 845 meters deep. So he can go real deep down in that ocean. So please say ghost octopus. Yeah, this is the ghost octopus. He's also known as Casper, so please say Casper. Yeah, when I was a little girl, we had a cartoon of Casper the Friendly Ghost. So he kind of looks like Casper did. And the ghost octopus, he lives in the very, very deep sea. So do we go all the way down to the bottom of the ocean very often? No, so we only discovered him back in 2016 in the deep, dark, cold waters. Now, this is kind of interesting. The ghost octopus, she'll lay her eggs, and she'll lay about 30 at a time, and she attaches them to the stalks of a dead sea sponge. And that way, the eggs, uh, when the babies hatch, that they have something to eat, and she'll just protect those eggs for several years before they're even ready to hatch. But she doesn't eat that whole time. And there you see how they just use the top part of their head to kind of help swim a little bit. And this is what what the sea sponges look like. Did you guys realize these are sometimes we can use these for our bath time? So maybe you've had a natural sea sponge. This is what they look like. But what do you think? Do you think the sea sponge is an animal? It is. These are living animals. And they're porous. We can use them to take our baths with. But that's what the ghost octopus likes to use to lay her eggs. See how there's all those little holes? Kind of helps them keep from floating away. So you guys did a great job today. And there's a little celebration for you, a little octopus decoration. So you guys did a great, great job today. And I would love to hear your comments. Let me know something you learned today. I'll see you soon. Have a good day. Bye.